Hey there, everyone. This is Rambo McLean for life. Welcome back, everyone, to my movie review and another one of my videos. And of course, this time I'm going to review and do my retrospective review on one of my personal favorite movies from Jim Carrey. And it's another favorite of mine that I really love to death, and that's Ace Ventura, Pet Detective. Yes, this movie, which is going to be my retrospective review. I just got it, recently just got it, both the movies on one disc from Australia. Jim Carrey's double feature, Ace Ventura, Pet Detective, and the sequel. And yeah, I didn't know, but Australia has put these two movies on one disc, but I didn't know that. But yeah, I'm gonna talk about this movie, which actually launched Jim Carrey's career. It's one of his best movies. I would say Ace Ventura, Pet Detective is a classic. I love this movie to death. By the way, this is the back, and he's the best there is. Actually, he's the only one there is. And the mostly pictures are from the sequel, When Nature Calls, from the first movie. It's Australia. I got it from Australia. And Ace Ventura, Ace Ventura Pet Detective was actually a movie that I saw the trailer as a kid, and I wanted to rent the film, but both the movies were that time out in the video store, so I couldn't got them. I think I don't remember. I think I saw this movie on TV, or I think I actually rented the VHS. I don't remember, but Ace Ventura was the movie that started Jim Carrey's career. Now, Ace Ventura, Pet Detectives started a sequel, When Nature Calls, this was the sequel a year later, and there was another sequel. I think was Ace Ventura Junior Pet Detective, which is actually a stand-up alone. It's actually a reference to those two movies, but I never saw the movie. It must be I think had to be a god-awful movie. I never saw it, didn't care for. Now, Ace Ventura, there was also Ace Ventura Pet Detective animated series. As a kid, I watched most Dumb and Dumber and The Mask cartoons and both the movies, more than Ace Ventura. But Ace Ventura, I couldn't watch cartoon because it was on a different program. It was actually were actually the reruns, and I couldn't watch it. And it was actually run in early in the morning in Saturday. That time I was actually sleeping, so I never had a chance to watch the Ace Ventura animated series. But I mostly watched Dumb and Dumber, The Mask. And the year 1994 was actually the year of Jim Carrey. He made 3 movies, and all 3 movies are box office successful. And Ace Ventura is definitely Jim Carrey's best movie. To me, my top 3 are still Dumb and Dumber, The Mask, and Liar Liar, because I love them. But this will be really close, number 4, because I always, even as a kid, I watched this film. It defines my childhood. Even as a kid, I was a huge fan of the first movie, because this is how we do a movie. Directed by Tom Shadyac, and of course was written by Tom Shadyac, Jim Carrey, who also helped to write the screenplay. He improvised most of the jokes, and and of course also was written by Jack Bernstein with Tom Shadyac, who also directed, and Jim Carrey. And yeah, they actually I'm just gonna call him the president of I think it was Morgan Creek Production. The CEO of Morgan Creek Production wanted a comedy with action, so he found the filmmakers, and he found Tom Shadyac. That this was actually Tom Shadyac's first directing the both, and he wrote the screenplay. And at first, for the Ace Ventura, they actually wanted Rick Moranis. Rick Moranis passed away. He declined, so he said no. So they wanted Judd Nelson, and another actor was in it, and Alan Rickman, rest in peace, from Die Hard. You know, they wanted both of them, but later the filmmakers had another idea to make Ace Ventura into a female with Whoopi Goldberg in it. Until they saw performance of Jim Carrey in that TV series, comedy show Living Color, so they cast him in, and he helped out with the script, so they let him to improvise most of the jokes. And I think that Tom Shadyac did a fantastic job directing and writing this movie, because this is one of my personal favorite, special movie. It's really dear to my heart, you know, just like Dumb and Dumber, The Mask, you know, and Liar Liar. And this movie, definitely his best movie. This is Jim Carrey's trademark. This is how I miss Jim Carrey nowadays. You know, I miss him like that. You know, that he was insane, that he was awesome detective. You know, he was one of the most insane, laughable, entertaining detectives out there I have ever seen. A loony detective, but a badass detective. He goes and kicks ass. You know, this is how he do. So yeah, the movie talks about this private detective. He's actually pet detective because he's looking for missing animals. You know, he helps people to find their pets. You know, and I love that. He loves animals. He lives with an animals. You know, and there was a dolphin mascot. Actually was. Dolphin missing mascot, you know, he was, the dolphin was kidnapped, you know, from the pool, and because the missing dolphin is not priority by cops, you know, so they hire Ace Ventura because he's the best in the job, you know. If no one's gonna looking for the missing pets, he's gonna do that, you know. Ace Ventura is actually the pet detective. He's gonna find them. You know, and I love the gags. You know, he actually goes to his apartment. You know, we see he uses lifts to escape. You know, the landlord gets him, Ventura. Yes, Satan. I love that line, you know. And the guy says, you know, the landlord says, you know, I want my rent. You know, you see, this is the bird. $25,000, millionaire lost it. When I got it, you got to pay the first. The priority is to pay your rent, you know. And he says, I heard you some animals should let me not catch you animal. Okay. And he goes to open the door, there's nothing, you know, in it. He says, let me not catch you with an animal. And he goes, you know, and Jim Carrey closes the door and says, loser. And he calls all the animals, you know, like a jungle, all the animals shows up, you know, around him. From a refrigerator, you see penguins, you know, all the animals, you know, the parrots, I think was even skunk in it, you know, sea lion, it was in the toilet, you know. I just love that, you know, how Tom Shadyac directed that with the animals, you know. I think they're real animals. So yeah, they hired, you know, Ace Ventura to find the missing dolphin, you know, the mascot. So he meets Roger. I forgot the actor who played I forgot Roger Predactor and Melissa Robinson, played by Courtney Cox. Lauren Holly was actually offered to play Melissa Robinson, but she declined. But she later did reunited with Jim Carrey in Dumb and Dumber. So Courtney Cox was actually for the role of Melissa Robinson, and of course, Tia Leone was also offered for the role. You know, Courtney Cox, she was hot at the time, and Jim Carrey was awesome. This is actually his best performance ever, you know, entertaining performance. You know, his best performance ever. He did everything, you know, just like I said in Liar Liar. He did everything himself, you know. all the stunts he did himself. He's awesome. Jim Carrey is at top of the mountain that time, you know, and I just miss. I mean, Ace Ventura is a fantastic movie, an awesome movie, you know. So yeah, Melissa Robinson from actually the stadium, you know, from the team of Dolphins, you know, from the management. She hires Ace Ventura to find this dolphin because he was kidnapped, and they think that there's all those environments, you know, against animals, you know, but they checked, none of them stole it, you know, none of them kidnapped their dolphin. So Ace Ventura, you know, he goes in the pool, and I love when he goes like in the pool, you know, with the surgeon, and there's like reporters, they want to see the mascot dolphin, and I was actually really laughing, you know, or when Ace Ventura, he was on the roof trying to catch the pigeon, but he lands off the roof, you know. I love that scene. He lands off the roof, lands right in the dumpster. I love that scene when he gets paged, you know. I forgot to mention the open scene. Man, how could I forget the open scene? The open scene, there's Randall Tag Cop, you know, from Blind Fury. From Blind Fury, from MacGyver. He was also in Common Valor. He's in it, you know, and Ace Ventura, you know, he actually goes dressed as a mailman, you know, but he goes to him I forgot. I wrote down to Graphman. He goes to the Graphman, you know. He makes a special delivery, and he said, "Can I just look the dog?" He gets, "I give a rat says what you do," you know. He grabs the dog, you know, and puts the wrong puppy, you know. He goes in the dog, you know. He goes, puts in the car, "Hungry fella." I love that, you know. And the guy finds it, "Hey, so get out of the door. Hey, get out of the door." And he looks, you know, it's a fake dog, you know. Grabman goes to the baseball and he goes and breaks Jim Carrey's car, especially the windshield. He goes bang, bang. He goes on him, you know. And the dog, you know, breaks all the windows. And the dog goes, bites him, and Ace grabs and bites him too. I love that scene, you know. And the guy falls down. Fantastic scene, you know. He breaks his car. I love that scene. He goes and breaks his car. Fantastic, you know. All the windshield, you know, were broken. So Ace Ventura, you know, now the scene, Ace Ventura, he goes in the aquarium tank, you know, because the pool is now, the water is now clean. He goes, you know, finds in it, and of course, Melissa says, "Ace, get out of the tank, you know, get out of the tank." Because the reporters, and he goes in the tank, and he goes and acts like he's Captain Kirk from Star Trek, you know, and he says, you know, I can't do that, Captain. I don't have power. I'm not a poolman. I'm a doctor. I don't have a power. You know, he looks like, he acts like he's Captain Kirk from Star Trek. You know, he was awesome, and he finds, you know, from the 94 ring, you know, from Super Bowl 94 ring. So when he goes on this, he goes to this concert, you know, on this metal concert, was death metal concert, you know. It was actually, they had a cameo appearance, Cannibal Corpse. They had a cameo appearance, you know, and he goes in this concert, and he goes to this expert, you know, for all the missing dolphins, you know. He goes to the expert, and the firstly that brings him is to the millionaire who's very obsessed with the dolphins, you know, to Ronald Kemp, you know. Udo Kier from Blade is in this movie, you know. He he goes in this party, you know, with Melissa, and he goes and makes all the funny scenes, you know. And so he goes, so he asks, you know, he asks Ronald covers the bathroom. He goes to the bathroom, and there's a Mission Impossible team. You know, he goes like a Mission Impossible, like a James Bond. He goes out, you know. Oh my God, he goes out in the aquarium fish, and he sees, you know, that pod, long pod, you know, and he grabs the fishes. And come on, Snowflake, I know he's scared. It's actually a shark grabs him, a shark goes in the water, almost hits him. I was laughable. I was laughing my ass on Jim Carrey, you know. That's not Snowflake. He goes, he goes around. It was awesome, you know. So he shows up all wet, or his clothes are ripped off. I was laughing. Oh my God, Jim Carrey was fantastic that time. So he goes out, you know. So he goes out and he finds out, you know, the thing that he found in the fish tank is actually from the Super Bowl ring, you know, 94. So he starts checking all the players that 94 they did, you know, all the players. And there's actually Aerosmith song line up, you know, and he runs at this guy. He goes and he goes and grabs him, you know. So he throws out to find all the rings. He goes to the car, you know, starts hoping on it. And this guy shows him a middle finger, so he looks the middle finger, you know, the ring. And he crosses every player. He's in the shower, you know, and he uses the towel and punches the guy. The guy goes, punches him, and he looks at the mirror, you know. Oh my God, it was awesome. Yeah, it was actually Aerosmith's lineup, you know. And later, so later when yeah, there's also when Ace Ventura, you know, he bring that dog, you know, the dog goes, that girl, the sexy lady goes and shows his pants. There's actually a last scene with Melissa and Ace, you know, with like all there's the jungle song, you know, in it, and he's like he's actually Jim Carrey was laughable that time, you know. So yeah, so he tries to find out, you know, more about who stole the dolphin, you know, and as I said, you know, this dog, you know, is actually very sad. What are you feeding him? You know, he's like, "Fred, what are you feeding him? Dog food." He's sad, you know, a terrible environment, you know. And she said, "I'm not listening." And he goes, you know, "I want you to leave so that you're gonna beat him, huh, fatty?" And she goes, you know, she goes actually to the phone, and Ace goes, you know, and he wants to apologize. He's actually serious, wants to come sorry, and they find out that Roger that he met, you know, is actually killed. It looked like a suicide. He goes to an apartment, you know, on a crime scene. He actually looks the crime scene, and he's like he actually shows a real detective, a capable detective, you know, not that he's actually just a goofball, you know, because like on the police department, everyone is making fun of him, you know. In Emilio, Tony Locke is in this movie. He's actually friends with Ace and helps him out, you know. There was also a scene when Jim Carrey talks with his butt, you know, to Tony Locke, and that was done for real in The Living Color, you know, with Keenan Ivory Wayans, you know, in which Jim Carrey really did that, you know, one time talking with his butt to director, and they actually went in a huge fight, you know. But they used that trick in this movie. And yeah, so in the crime scene, you know, when everyone thought, oh, it was a suicide because the neighbor heard the scream, but Ace Ventura finds out there was not a suicide. Roger Predator was actually murdered. He was murdered, you know, and he's like awesome, you know, and he says, you know, Roger had a few drinks here at home, but he wasn't alone. Someone else was in here. And the neighbor says she heard a scream, so she had to hear a scream before he was shown out of the balcony, you know. And Sergeant Einhorn by Sean Young, you know, from Blade Runner, Stripes, you know, she actually goes, ooh, because something like evidence, you know, and he goes, you know, on the balcony, and so this neighbor says she heard a scream. He goes, oh, 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 and opens and shuts the door, you know, and see the scream that the neighbor Conan not heard the scream when Roger, you know, was pushed out the balcony, you know. So it's really a mystery, but something he probably found out something or something it was, you know, and he says, can you hit this body? He says, you know, can you feel that body? Hug, can you feel that body? Hug, I exorcise the demons. Losers. And she goes, get him out of here, losers. Because he found out that he was actually murdered, and I love that scene. He shows that he's actually an excellent detective, you know, not just a goofball. And in the picture, Ace finds out that actually one of the players, you know, in the Super Bowl is actually missing, and he's Ray Finkel. And it turns out, for Ray Finkel, it turns out that Ray Finkel was kicked out of the Dolphins team because he missed, you know, because he actually missed the ball, you know, and he caused the Miami Dolphins championships and a Super Bowl. He caused them a Super Bowl and a championship, and he was kicked out. And the lead, you know, Ace Ventura brings the lead to Ray Finkel's home, you know, and he finds out like whole house is painted, you know, like Finkel sucks and like everyone hates him, you know. And he meets the psycho parents, the guy with the shotgun, you know. And he goes, you know, and of course his mother says that he's a fan, and she goes and shows him, you know, his room. And Jim Carrey, you know, stated that the Ray Finkel room is like from Hannibal Lecter, you know. And yeah, it actually was inspired by Hannibal Lecter I forgot the title of the movie, The Silence of the Lambs, you know. I think it was Silence of the Lambs, or was the you know, that actually inspired him, you know, to do that. But that was awesome, you know. He was awesome. He found that projector, and he looked the projector, and he found that Dan Marino is all thought, you know, that's actually an old revenge, you know, that Dan Marino he's supposed to do the lace out, but he didn't, and Ray Finkel missed the field goal and caused the Miami Dolphins championships, you know. And he says like I'm in hell, you know. And yeah, the actress who played Mrs. Finkel was Alice Drummond. She was in Ghostbusters. Alice Drummond was in Ghostbusters. You know, she was the lady in the library in the opening scene, and she was the same actress. And I just love the environment. You know, I forgot to mention, but the whole movie was actually filmed in Miami, Florida, because it's also set in Miami. And this movie is a retrospective review. It's such a awesome, you know, it's like how they actually filmed the film. And yeah, so he calls Melissa, you know, and tells her his story, and he finds out that Dan Marino is gonna be kidnapped. So he calls Melissa, you know, he goes with the car, and turns out the commercial, you know, Dan Marino gets kidnapped by actually two players. They look like they're actually two hoodlums. They go and kidnap him, and they escape, you know, and the cars go after them, but they escape with the car. And I love that scene when Ace, you know, when Ace Ventura goes with the car, you know, after them, he hits two cops, says, sorry, you fellows. Ace Ventura, bad detective, goes after them. The guy uses his gun, shoots, bang, 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 and he catches the bullet with his teeth. I love that scene. Fantastic scene, you know. And he tries to catch them, but he crashes his car. His car flips over. Love that scene. So now he has no choice, but he has to find out what's the connection with Ray Finkel. So he goes, in the psychiatric institution, thinking that he's loony, and his dress, his dress like that, with a skirt, his dress like that with a skirt, that he's actually loony. With Melissa Robinson, he goes, to find the file, and he actually finds Ray Finkel's files in the box, and he finds out missing hiker for a week, from Avalanche, Louis Einhorn. And when actually the janitor wants to shows up, he goes to the box, he breaks the box, the janitor leaves because of an argument. At that time he finds the notes of missing hiker Louis Einhorn, and of course he also tries to find out what's going on, what is the connection with Ray Finkel and Louis Einhorn, the sergeant, Sergeant Louis Einhorn, that she hates him so much, and yeah, so in that scene, Einhorn, when he tries to find out, what do you want? I don't have a food for you. I have to have money to buy you a food, your master, and he goes, and the dog, shows him a clue and finds, oh my God, Einhorn is Finkel. Einhorn is a man, and he goes and uses that plunger in his. That plunger in his mouth, the plunger. He goes, he actually makes a fire, in the bathroom. He's like all naked in the shower, she's a man, and he goes and starts, he also, his friend, Emilio, he goes, to check Einhorn's office because Santa's fishy, they found out Santa's fishy, and I love that scene, when he puts all the cow gums, the gums in it, flip his gums, just like Steve Stone Cold Austin says, flipping your gums, he goes and flips the gums in it, and he goes and he actually follows, he goes and follows this Marina, he follows Einhorn, and two men, the actual two felons, they actually kidnapped, Dan Marino, which is awesome. They actually kidnapped Dan Marino, two felons, and he goes, and he goes and tries to save Dan Marino. He knocks those two guys out. I read that they wanted that they both, both two men die, but they cut the scene in which their head is cut out. They actually cut the scene in which they both survived, and yeah, in that time, that time, of course, Ace Ventura tries to save Dan Marino because he's tied up, but Einhorn shows up with her gun, with her pistol, and she points to both of them, and Ace Ventura, he goes and cries, don't shoot me, and she goes and calls, she goes and calls the police, all the cops, and tells them, Ace Ventura kidnapped, he kidnapped Dolphin, he kidnapped me and Dan Marino, and tells them the location, and then she sees then she actually sees, the rerun when she missed, when Ray Finkel missed the ball, she's like pissed off and shoots in the TV, and I love that scene when Jim Carrey goes and punches her, God, that's done for real, boom, punches her, and she goes, punches him, boom, boom, he grabs her, punches her back. I love that scene. She goes, kicks him in the balls, he goes, punches her like that, like Batman, punches her and grabs her for her head and goes, and then he grabs her, and she goes, kicks the shit out of him, he tries to get the gun, but knocks her down, and she goes back, kicks the shit out of the cops surrounding them, she goes, and Sean Young goes and kicks the shit out of Jim Carrey, she kicks him out, I love that scene, and she goes and kicks the shit out of him, and she says, shoot him, he kidnapped me, he killed Roger, he kidnapped me, he kidnapped the dolphin, shoot him, you know. He says, the pictures are very funny, but I prefer the real stories, you know. And he says, you know, that she's not raping her, she's a man, you know. When Jim Carrey falls to them, and then he says, have a child with a lady ace, you know. He says, she's a man, she grabs her for the she goes and grabs him for the mouth and goes punches him. I love that scene, you know. I love that scene. Ace Ventura was a fantastic movie. Better than Fletcher. I love this movie to death, man. And he says, you know, he grabs, you know, for her hand, you know, he pulls her, with a great big, and he goes, grabs her, grabs her dress, the real boobs, you know. He grabs the skirt down, there's still no Winnie, and there's behind, he goes, opens her, you know, and there's a Winnie, everyone is like throwing up, you know. And now Einhorn is pissed, you know. She actually grabs the broken glass and goes, die, animal boy! And she tries to stab him and runs towards him, and Jim Carrey says, you know, with decision, and grabs her, throws in the fucking water, you know. She falls in the fish tank, you know. He stabs on her arm, grabs, you know, the ring, you know, goes with the legs and says, loser, you know. And then he goes to the stadium, he says, Dan Marino, they bring the mascot back, you know. Einhorn is arrested, and he's now the hero, you know. He kisses Melissa, then he sees the pigeon, he goes to this pigeon, you know, that this asshole Eagles mascot swoop, you know. He goes and sweeps and punches the pigeon, you know, and says, you idiot! And the guy says, what, did you understand what you did? No, it just cost me 25 grand, G, you know. And he goes, you know, oh yeah, blow me. Oh really? He goes, kicks the shit out of the mascot, you know. He goes and kicks the guy the shit out of him, you know. He goes, kicks the guy the shit out of him. He kicks the guy out, he beats him out. Those are actual real punches, you know, not improvised, but he goes, kicks the shit out of him. Oh my god, you know. And then the movie ends, it's to be the hero, you know. Yeah, I love this movie to death, you know. It's actually kind of scary because this movie is actually a comedy. It's actually very funny, entertaining. Jim Carrey is funny. He's the best comedian. He's one of my favorite comedians of all time. Ace Ventura, Pet Detective is actually my favorite movie. This is my favorite. I love the guy to death. And like I said, Jim Carrey had to write a screenplay. He improvised the jokes they let him. And there was actually at one point that director Tom Shadyac, when he saw the movie, he was very scared that's going to end his and Jim Carrey's career, but actually it saved their career. It actually launched them, you know. It was a huge box office success. This became a cult classic film, you know. It got a cult following and became a cult classic film, and I just love this movie to death. The budget was only $50 million, made $107 million worldwide. It was a huge box office successful. It was a huge box office success. It opening weekend in US and Canada, it grossed $1 million. And later it actually grows from $12 million to $72 million worldwide, $107 million, you know. And the cast, Jim Carrey, you know, actually it's kind of scary. The music score by Ira Newborn, I love the music score by Ira Newborn. I love that Ace Ventura is actually in the city, you know, in the Miami city, better than the jungle. I love that he's actually, I love the fight scenes. I love that he's actually a real detective, that he's actually like a cop, you know, a real detective tries to find out the clues to find the missing mascot, and he does, you know. And I just love Jim Carrey's performance. he also wrote the screenplay. Tom Shadyac did a good job. I love the jokes, you know. Yes, Satan. Can you heal this body? Huh? I have exercised. Demons, this house is clean, you know. Losers, you know. Just love that scene. Or when Jim Carrey kisses Sean Young, you know. But yeah, Courtney Cox she was hot. She did a fantastic job. She was nice. She was beautiful. She was young, you know. Before, I think this is before she actually was cast in Friends. She was awesome as Melissa Robinson. Sean Young as Louis Einhorn and Ray Finkel from Blade Runner. I think she was in Strippers and Blade Runner. She did a good job. Sean Young did a good job. She was awesome, Sean Young. I think that Sean Young wanted to be in the Batman Returns, but I think she was replaced by Michelle Pfeiffer, but I'm not sure. But Sean Young did a fantastic job, you know, as the villain, Lieutenant Louis Einhorn, Ray Finkel. This movie is also like a mystery, you know. But yeah, it works, you know. The plot, the story works. Tony Locke, you know, he's actually Emilio. He's actually yeah, the Tony Locke, he has a little a small role in it as one of the detectives. But yeah, also cameo appearance from Death Metal Band, you know, Cannibal Corpse. I love the soundtrack on the end of credits. Ace is in the house, you know. Tony Locke, it's just awesome. Yeah, it was just a great experience, you know. Especially I love the scene when actually Jim Carrey uses the plunger in his head, you know. My favorite scene would be the car chase scene when the kidnapper shoots on Jim Carrey and Jim Carrey catches the bullet with his with actually his mouth. I love that scene with his teeth. That's my favorite scene. I love that it's only 1 hour 26 minutes. It's PG-13. Yeah, there was a deleted scene with Jim Carrey as expert Dolphin, Trainer Heinz, Gator Velvet. That was cut. There's not even that scene. It's not even here. I think that it was actually edited and advertised, you know, later on VHS tape after it was released in movie theater. I have not seen that scene, but that was deleted. I love, you know, that was actually deleted scene. Like I said, Lauren Holly turned down the role of Melissa, you know, Melissa Robinson. She actually was later for a few times married with Jim Carrey. I love Jim Carrey's car, which was 1972 Chevrolet Monte Carlo. I love his car. I love the music score by Ira Newborn. Love the music score for Ace Ventura. I love, you know, the retrospective review. My retrospective review is that I love his car. You know, like I mentioned, I love his car. 1972 Chevrolet Monte Carlo. I love his pets. You know, I love that he loves the pets so much. I love that it has that the movie is set like a mystery. I love that it's actually in the town, the city. I love that he. I love the cast, you know, Sean Young, Courtney Cox, I love that much, you know, when Sean Young, you know, grabs and kisses Jim Carrey and says, what is it, that bimbo bone bitch, Melissa Robinson, you know, I just love that scene. I love Jim Carrey's acting performance. Tony Locke did a good job, you know, to have a small role as one of the detectives. Still, I forgot to mention, but when Jim Carrey gets surrounded, with Sean Young, with all the cops, and lawyer says, shoot him, Melissa shows up with Tony Locke with the gun. I was wondering, was that gun reloaded or was empty? Probably, I don't know. It looks like it was reloaded. But yeah, but I do love the actor performance, the fight scenes. It kind of look real. I think that Jim Carrey really did punch Sean Young, and I also think that Sean Young really did punch, Jim Carrey. But all that said, he grabs her for the hair, and goes, and smashes her in the wall. That was so awesome. And he grabs her and starts like this, on her head, I actually remember when 2 years when me and my friend went to see Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, I think it was Robert Rodriguez, another movie. I actually really liked that scene, when Brad Pitt was really pretty good when he punched those people attacking him. But yeah, Jim Carrey did an awesome job, he did an awesome job. I mean, Tom Shady, this is actually their first collaboration they did together, Liar Liar. The second one, which I reviewed that film, it's my retrospective review on that film, and of course they did Bruce Almighty. But Tom Shady did a fantastic job directing. I don't understand why it's actually on one disc. Why are two movies on one disc? Why Australia did that? I thought there were two. I thought that there are actually two discs, but no, there were one disc. There's no special features, Liar Liar has a special feature because it's from Universal Pictures. Why this movie doesn't have any special features, I don't understand that, It only has a commentary by Tom Shadyac and trailer. That's all this Blu-ray has, no interviews, no how Jim Carrey, Jim Carrey or Courtney Cox talking about. I also love the scene with the open scene with Randall Tex Cop, who finds out that his dog was stolen, and he goes with a baseball bat and starts smashing Jim Carrey's windows in the car. I love the scene. He lands in the car, and Jim Carrey shows him. He makes a turn and he falls down out the car. Love that scene. Or he says, "Hungry fellow," I love that scene. I love Jim Carrey's car. I love the costume that Jim Carrey's wearing. I love his t-shirt, love his t-shirt. I love his t-shirt. I love his funny dialogues. The music score. Ace is in the House. I love that music score. I love Aerosmith's song lineup, and also kinda Ray Finkel, he's kinda creepy, I still know how they actually did that Louis Einhorn, he became a captain by the police, in Miami. But that was kind of really scary, when we saw her room, Ray Finkel's room was really scary, or in the town, or when he was kicked out of the team. And yeah, and the story, about Ray Finkel vowing revenge on Dan Marino, because Dan Marino caused him to misses the field goal, and it cost them the championship, yeah, and of course cost them the championship. That was kind of really genius idea, It was well done, it was well created, it was unique, invented, it was well created, the story. I read that they wanted that this is gonna be a next Fletch in the 90s, but I still remember I wanted this movie. I wanted both of them to watch, on VHS, but both of them were actually rented, so I couldn't got them. But yeah, this movie I love to death. So far, number 4, but my opinion changes a lot, If I would have watched them, because like I said, I did not have before Liar Liar and Ace Ventura. I just recently got them because previous month I reviewed three movies of Jim Carrey. I reviewed Dumb and Dumber, The Mask, and I review Dumb and Dumber, The Mask, and of course the sequel, you know. But like I said, in my opinion, Ace Ventura, Pet Detective did not deserve to have a sequel. I'm gonna see how this movie is gonna win. I never liked this film. I thought it was forgettable. I thought, like, in the jungle it sucked. I forget mostly I forgot. This sequel was kind of forgettable. But I'll give it a second chance to rewatch it. But watching this movie is entertaining. It's a kick-ass. It's a really good movie. Definitely one of Jim Carrey's best films. A classic. It holds 6.9 IMDb. This is a classic. Definitely one of Jim Carrey's best movies. And I miss Jim Carrey like that. I miss this movie. Love this movie to death. I'm glad they have on Blu-ray. I mean, Ace Ventura, Pet Detective is a fantastic movie, you know. And my retrospective is how they actually did, how they created the character, you know. Jim Carrey helped them out. He did everything, you know. He performed. He pulled the punches. He went fall off the roof. He did all the stunts himself. He acted as a real detective, you know. He isn't like Jim Rockford, you know. He's actually he did everything as the detective would, you know, to solve the case, found the missing mascot, you know, the dolphin, and solved the crime, you know. And that's what he did. He acted like a real detective, you know. And Jim Carrey pulled it off. He did a fantastic job, you know. When he goes in a concert, goes and this guy is shaking his head, you know. Can you tell me who this my friend is? And doesn't give you an answer, but keeps shaking his head, says thank you, you know. And he goes to the password, but he forgets the password, you know. And what is it, red or white? Oh, I never remember. What? And opens and says yes. Oh my god. But I love the soundtracks, the action, the mystery, Jim Carrey's performance. This movie was just phenomenal. I think this movie is a phenomenal. Ace Ventura, Pet Detective is a phenomenal movie. Man, Jim Carrey was awesome. Love Jim Carrey so much. So yeah, that's my retrospective review on Ace Ventura, Pet Detective, because it deserves it. It's an immortal classic that never gets old. I miss those kind of movies, you know. It's definitely Jim Carrey's best movie. It's a movie that started his career, and it's a movie that made him into actually one of the best comedians ever. And Jim Carrey is my favorite comedian. And Ace Ventura, Pet Detective, I recommend it. You can't get wrong with this film. I recommend it to see it. It has action. It's a crime. It's a mystery, and it's fast paced. You know. It's fast paced. I just love the filming locations, how they filmed in filming locations. Acting the performance by Jim Carrey was awesome. It was fantastic, you know, and so on, you know. But yeah, that's my retrospective review on Ace Ventura, Pet Detective, 1994. Hope you like it. Hope you enjoy my review and my video. Subscribe, share, like, and I'll see you in the next movie, because the next one will be the sequel, which I'm not happy about it, but it's gonna be a sequel. So see you for the sequel. So take care, have a good day, have a good Saturday, and I'm out. Peace, bye bye.